And welcome everyone back to another edition of the Torn Quadcast, the show where we talk about sports entertainment, comma, sports, comma, or Oxford, comma, and entertainment. We are your hosts. I'm Elliott Serrano, and that there is my buddy Mark Allen Fishman. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well.
I'm very happy to hear that. It has been well, I'm going to tell you something. It wasn't that eventful a week if in the world of pro wrestling, if you ask me. But as we are sitting down right now, the news just broke about something huge that happened, namely the passing of the immortal Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea. And of course, being the character that he was, the figure in the industry that he was, as well as pretty much having a lot of controversy surrounding him. The opinions about Mr. Bollea are flying across the social media sphere. But we will be saving our discussion on that for a little bit later in the show. Let's check off the boxes as far as the day-to-day, what's been going on in the world of professional wrestling, and then we'll get into the passing of Hulk Hogan, as well as some discussion about the new Fantastic Four movie that has come out this weekend. In fact, by the time you're watching this, you might not be watching this as it airs because you're at a theater right now going to see Fantastic Four. And if you're doing that, I don't blame you. Because chances are I'm going to be at a theater as this is airing. So
I am hopeful that my wife and I will be able to see it on Sunday, depending, because Saturday my oldest is having a bar mitzvah. So I've got that on the brain. Gotta get past that. We'll see.
Gotta get past that. Did no bar mitzvah, there is no manhood. Can't be a man without that bar mitzvah.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. But in any case, thank you everyone for joining us on WRMN Radio, the YouTube page. We are yet again being preempted by the Chicago White Sox, which right now are playing the Cubs. I do not have a time machine to tell me what the score is. Otherwise, I would give you a score as we're talking. But hey, that's another thing. You could be listening to the game on WRMN 1410 AM, and then just come back to us later. You can catch every episode of the Torn Quadcast right here on the WRMN Radio YouTube page. All right, let's jump in. Going over your notes. Let me real quick. The big stuff right now. After the events of this past week's Raw, where you can tell that there's a lot of stuff that had to get scrapped with the whole Seth Rollins injury.
Yes.
Although I'm going to tell you something. And you did say this on a previous show. I'm beginning to wonder, because they're pushing it really hard that Seth Rollins is going to be out, and Paul Heyman even said he's going to be out for a long time.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else knows this about Paul Heyman, but he's not the most honest guy.
Really? Yeah. He kind of reminds me of other folks. Yeah, but yeah.
This is the thing. I watched Pot Never Boils wrestling. If they say your name, if they keep you relevant, it's probably part of the storyline. If there's truly an injury, the promoter, unless they're going to bring the injured wrestler in to do something else, which they've done from time to time, you don't keep the wrestler in your mouth, so to speak. You let it cool so that you get the really cool comeback. But yeah, I think they're just sowing the seeds and doing what they did. I think it was good business that they fettered him out to a bunch of podcasts and media appearances to talk about this grand injury. So
and hosting the Rich Eisen show. I mean, which is huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's again, if it's keeping kayfabe, I mean, he's obviously, I don't know, this could be a work. I mean, the more and more they talk about it, the more it feels like a work. So fine, but I guess we'll see. I'm curious as to what's going to happen at SummerSlam, or it might not even be SummerSlam. It could be something later on down the line. In any event, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are going up against Roman Reigns and main event Jey Uso at SummerSlam, which feels like, did they? I'm assuming they planned that from the beginning. They could have planned it, or they just decided, hey, we've got to get back. Let's get back Roman Reigns, to get him into something.
He was back. He was ready, and I'm not really sure with the Seth Rollins of it all if he even was a factor in that. I think that, I don't know. I think the writers at this point may kind of be twiddling their thumbs trying to figure out what to do with a Roman Reigns. You've kind of told the story. He had his faction, he had the championship for forever, and it's over. Torch has been passed. He's still not, he's not a young guy, but he's not on his last legs. Can't do a retirement angle with him, even though I think he's said as much, he's got another year or two in him or whatever. So what do you do with him? You do this. And for what it's worth, if he can move to that phase where he starts getting some other talent over, a win against he and main event Jey Uso would make Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker look formidable more than they already are. But I would only lead to ask, if then what? Because are they going for tag belts? Do they even care about tag belts? Are they each trying to vie for a championship? Because there's a mid-card belt on that show. You can't split it between the two of them. So I'm a little, I don't know. The whole thing seems wishy-washy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now, you got to get Roman Reigns back in the mix, I guess. Although he did a TikTok or something on the WWE socials where he announced, he goes, I'm it right now. I'm done. I'm just here because my job was to birth 5 more, or whatever, or make 5 more, and get it going. And he's probably thinking, he's had his run. Again, you did pretty well for yourself. There's the obvious toll that the life, when you're redlining it for that long, for how many years, and you make enough money for yourself, and you can just stay home with the family. I'd be like, I don't see, and then do the old Hogan routine, which was just show up for the big events, and that's it.
He could. I don't know how much if he has aspirations to act, but I know he's been in a couple of things.
And he's going to be in something now. I know that. Yeah, he's doing a thing with Jason Momoa. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's not like he couldn't find other work and satisfying work. And I'm sure there's still plenty of gas in the tank. I think the problem of it all is the John Cena of it all. You can't have more than one wrestler on the retirement tour. So he's got to stay relevant for the time being. You could say I'm just
going to say he needs a tribe. You can't call him the tribal chief if he has no tribe.
Yeah.
Although he had that T-shirt at Raw where it said well, it had OT. It should have been OTC1, but it had the Roman Reigns symbol where the O should be. And then it said TC, and then it had 1. I'm like, wait, what does that mean? I mean, he's not Roman Reigns Tribal Chief 1, or I didn't get what the design was supposed to be saying, what it was implying. Which again, call him the Tribal Chief if you want. Call him the original Tribal Chief if you want. Where is the tribe? There is no tribe, just like there is no more Cleveland Indians or Guardians now. So it's going to be give me
Ooh, boy, do I want to make a point there. I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah, I know. Somebody wants to bring that back. I know.
But no, I mean, you're absolutely right. And you could make the argument right now that there is unfinished business with Paul Heyman because he was betrayed with the CM Punk WrestleMania thing. So there's still that thing to walk down. Like, okay, so Wise Man, you stab me in the back, you have your new group. He's going to say some insulting things. It should lead to, I'm guessing, him versus Braun Breaker. They spear each other in the ring. The shockwave deafens the audience. And when the dust clears, Seth Rollins will stand over both of them with his Money in the Bank thing for reasons.
And as you say that, I was going back and looking at some older Braun Breaker matches. And I'm like, I mean, he was formidable and all that, but he wasn't this unbeatable monster that they kept. And I was like, all it took was putting together Paul Heyman and another guy, and suddenly he's unbeatable. When before then he was kind of beatable. I mean, I'm not saying that he was a pushover, but they
ran into the same problem you do anytime. When we talked about this last week with Goldberg, you cannot have a world-beating character in modern professional wrestling because of the amount of content that you have to produce. If you have a streak and it goes forever, people stop believing in it after a while. You have to have some semblance of him being, quote, beatable. I did like when he was over first. The first opponent they gave him was Sami Zayn. And Sammy played kind of the craftier baby face that had to get out of the way. And yeah, if you got a guy whose whole gimmick is, I go so fast, you can't stop me. Well, if you sidestep him, you can. There's some interesting things there. I'm curious where they go with it, but I would be remiss if I said that I'm like locked in and excited about the angle. Right now, I think whatever's going on with Seth, they're not leaning into it hard enough. They're kind of warbling. And this tag match at SummerSlam reeks of, they'll get in their stuff. It'll be a good 20 minutes, and it gets 4 of our big names onto the card.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a 2-night extravaganza. We've got to fill some time.
I was going to say, this feels like a bit like they don't have enough now. There was that time, we've had this discussion. When it came to WrestleMania, okay, with WrestleMania, you have all these storylines, all these things that you've been building towards. Plus, let's be honest, if you're into WWE, it is your goal to have a WrestleMania moment. So expanding the 2 nights, let's the storytelling breathe a little more. Let's the matches give them a little more time. And yes, more paychecks to go around. Great.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, though, I don't know if I view SummerSlam like that. And it's funny because a reporter asked Triple H about that very thing. Like, are we ever going to see other pay-per-views go to 2 nights beyond SummerSlam? Like, would the Royal Rumble go to 2 nights? Make like the women's Royal Rumble the main event of one night and the men's Royal Rumble the main event of the other night. But I mean, I can't see Survivor Series doing that, but it's still, I can tell.
Did he have an answer, or did he just raise an eyebrow and go, "You'll have to see"?
No, he actually did have an answer. Even he said, it's a bit, go on 2 nights for all of them. It's like, if he didn't see it, it didn't necessarily merit it. Yes.
Good. I mean, I guess you're not bookending it, but you're saying, like, look, at month 12 and month 6, you're getting these 2-night extravaganzas, which should set us up for the next 6 months of storyline.
Right.
Okay, fine.
So
let's move on.
I give him credit for that. Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, and it was news to me. A-Town Down Under is Dunzo. Grayson Waller was approaching. Was it the New Day to like join the New Day or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm a big Grayson Waller fan. I think he's great. I know. It's just a shame he can't get over beyond a certain point. And honestly, I don't think the creative knows what to do with him. Just like they don't know what to do with Austin Theory,
who
who
apparently has got over enough that they said when he comes back from this injury, he'll be a babyface. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and he's like, he does some great stuff on social media. You can tell he's like living out his trials out there and journaling it. So hey, but it's I don't know. I sit there and I go, I had such high hopes for Grayson Waller when he first started. I remember seeing him in NXT and going, okay, this guy's ready. This guy's ready to take the next step. And then he gets to the next step, and then boom, hits
well,
that
the
there.
WWE. This is par for course, and there's two reasons for this story. First of all, the fact that it was a non-story, that it was this whole angle change just happened behind the scenes, and the story that accompanied it. And this comes, I believe, from notorious Dave Meltzer. Take from that what you will. That this is not the only story where they have made a backstage decision and then no one realized that it didn't make it to any television to complete a story and acknowledge to the audience it is time to move on. And it's, I tie this in with the New Day, whose heel turn was this massive, huge thing. They injure Big E, they go full heel. They're despicable, they're slimy, they're cheating to win all of a sudden, and the whole storyline died like a wet fart. Just okay, and they lost the belts, and I guess one day we'll make them good guys when the t-shirts stop selling. This feels like, okay, well, this mid-card act, because Austin Theory is injured, and we didn't get the chance to have Waller, cause the injury, and we're broken up and blah blah blah. So they're just gonna move on. Take from it what you will. It's disappointing that as big a machine as the WWE is, they let stuff like that happen. It's not a story that I brought up, but I think it ties to the same point. This week on NXT, The Undertaker, who apparently has run out of money because he is doing so much stuff for the WWE lately, came out with a freshly just for men goatee and told Trick Williams, I believe, that not every night is your night, kid, because he just lost some big match and then he chokeslammed him or did something to him to, go viral. And all I could think is, once again, from everything I've read or heard about Trick Williams, that is another guy who is like ready for prime time. The character is ready made. The moveset is locked in. The character's up here. And the WWE seemingly have no room for him. So we're just going to keep him on this third leg, dying on the vine until we can figure out something to do with him.
I mean, they have a hell of a lot of talent right now. I mean, let's face it. And then you've got folks in the upper levels, like the Street Profits. They are sorely undervalued, underused, under everything.
Yes.
So Montel, they should have been going. Mind you, both of them would be impressive as singles matches too. But they've been keeping them together because it's like you break them up and then they got nowhere to go from there.
Well, they do, but they just won't do it. Like, you're right. Montel has star written all over him, and I forget the name of his partner in the team.
Yeah,
but I mean that kind of says it all. But he's definitely rock solid in the ring. He just doesn't have. He to me is sort of like, and Montel has got the X factor. Like, he is all Shawn Michaels to the other dude's Marty Jannetty.
No, he is. I'm sorry, it's Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins.
Angelo Dawkins, thank
you. And Montez Ford.
Yeah, it's not that Dawkins isn't talented. He is.
No, yeah, they're both. Yeah, I mean,
Montez Ford has got something. Like,
no, Montez Ford, that Elimination Chamber match that he was in, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago? He was the star of that show. He just, and again, an incredible talent. Why he's not heavyweight champion at this by now, I don't get.
He could be in the picture for sure, and he's not on no one's radar. And the thing is, I wouldn't be mad about that at all if the WWE gave any credence to their tag team division. They're treated as an also-ran, and that's really disappointing, especially because it feels like the WWE only ever clicked in the tag team division during the era of your big three, the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. But they've had so many other amazing teams that they've just like not cared about.
It's again tag team. There's so many belts.
Yeah.
And you saw Triple H go out and really try to stock the tag team divisions. I mean, brought up the guys from NXT, went out and signed the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yep.
Got, have all these folks who are just loading the tag team. But then at that point, it's up to WWE Creative to do stuff with them.
Yeah, you can't just keep having tag matches and think an angle will come out of this somewhere. Mm-hmm. You actually have to build the angle. So, like in the Edge, Christian, Hardy, Dudley repetitious feuds, because what they were doing in the ring was so new, and none of them, save only for Edge and Christian, were talkers. It took Matt Hardy leaving the WWE to learn how to speak, and Jeff still doesn't know how. And the Dudleys were saddled with a stupid gimmick that prevented them from talking.
Yeah.
So they never built up anything. It was always, I'm going to take your woman. I'm going to, concerto you, and I'm going to take out your other guy. But they're not even doing those storylines, which is a little sad. But, I digress. It's just one of those things where, like, we're in this summer lull, which is so strange to say when you're this close to SummerSlam, and, like, the whole WWE feels like a yawn right now.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's
my AEW.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we switch over to AEW then, if you talk about that?
Yeah, there's only one story that came out here.
Yeah, Will Ospreay.
Yes, Will Ospreay came out. So right now, AEW is doing a residency in Chicago, which is something is interesting to me. I wish that I was financially capable to have appreciated it in person, but they're basically like in the Aragon Ballroom, like for 2 straight weeks, all tapings happening in Chicago, house shows, everything here. And for the second week, they're in the Aragon. And Will Ospreay came out. He looked bummed, and we knew that from All In, he did not look 100%. So he came out, grabbed the mic, and said, "Hey, look, everybody, this is on me." And he's a young guy, so he's still learning to not be an idiot. And he admitted that for the last 11 months, he has had neck trouble. But because he knows that saying the word neck trouble in wrestling gets you benched, because that's a very serious thing. So he stupidly powered through, and finally at All In said, "Okay, I can't do this anymore." So he goes, sees the doctor.
I thought you were going to say, he goes, I can't feel my extremities. So
well, if you follow him a couple pay-per-views ago, he was having arm numbness, and he was trying to say it was a stinger. Anyway, he got an MRI, and they said, "Congratulations, you have 2 discs pushing on your spinal cord. You're going to need back surgery. We have to do this." Now, luckily, knock on wood, this isn't anywhere on the spectrum of bad spinal injuries, knowing that all spinal injuries are terrible. But he said that he will be, he'll get the surgery immediately. He'll be in rehab immediately after that, and he is desperate to be a part of the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which is at the O2 Arena in his home, London, England. So he very much wants to be a part of that. Given the date of that, I don't think that's going to happen. But again, he is young. So I'm hopeful that he has learned his lesson and the aerial assassin can stop doing quadruple flippity dips and maybe take it down to a triple flippity do. We'll be just as impressed.
I'm sure we will. But again,
Yes.
a tremendous amount of respect for these guys who put their bodies on the line every night when they do that. Even the simplest bump. That's why I, for the life of me, wouldn't even flirt with the idea of taking an actual bump. I mean, I know I have friends who are pro wrestlers. I've been in a wrestling ring. I've told, their guys say, hey, we'd love to do stuff with you. I go, I will do it. I will talk. And that's all I will do. I will not take a bump. I know what's going to happen. You do the bit where even a flat back bump, boom. Oh my God, I just severed my spinal cord. I know that's how bad it would be for me. That's how
I know my
fragile
body.
I am. Yes,
I
know how
am a
fragile.
half a tick away from mortal injury.
Yep, pretty much.
I feel it. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. And meanwhile, you have former wrestler Bryan Danielson this week also in the news very briefly. He has joined the volunteer firefighters in wherever he's living in the Pacific Northwest. And he did, someone came for a pull quote and he's like, I don't know, I just thought I would do something that helps my community and I have money, so this seemed like the right thing to do. So once again, Bryan Danielson cannot do any wrong. He now will save the forest critters from forest fires or something. He's amazing. Love him.
Good for him.
Yes.
All right. Let's take a quick break right here. When we come back, we will get into the death of Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan, and the Fantastic Four movie coming out this weekend. Who's excited? Are you excited? I'm excited. I mean, after the hit that was Superman, can Fantastic Four and Marvel follow up on that? We're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be right back. And we are back. This is the Torn Quadcasts, and we are your hosts, Elliott Serrano and Mark Fishman. I am Chicago's King of Geeks. Mark Fishman is part of the Unshaven Comics crew. Actually, can I get an honorary membership?
Oh, you're not honorary. If you ever, we'll get you in on a Samurnut backup, and you can join in. You can't join the logo, but you can get a smiley because I've definitely made those.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be on the logo anyway, because that would be like breaking up the Pet Boys.
Right.
Like if they added a fourth Pet Boy, I'd be like, no, he doesn't belong there. No, go away.
Yeah, welcome to it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Snap Crackle Pop, and Larry.
No one likes
Hello.
Larry. Hello, no one wants that. We've been talking about the events in WWE, AEW, lots of talk about injuries, storylines, and the like. But we're going to shift gears now and talk about the one thing that has been dominating social media these past few days, and that is the death of Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan. And unless you were living under a rock, you know who Hulk Hogan was. Everyone if you were a wrestling fan, Hulk Hogan was a part of your fandom growing up. Say your prayers, take your vitamins, that all that stuff. I will admit, I was, even when he was big, I wasn't the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. I was more of a Macho Man Randy Savage fan. My somewhat disdain for Hogan even was manifest in even developing a strong affinity and fandom for the Ultimate Warrior, who was equally, if not more, problematic than Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
but when you're a kid, you ignore a lot of that stuff because it's like, oh, he cuts cool promos, or he's got a cool look, or whatever. You buy into the
character.
The character, and when it's a successful character, let's be honest, that's what does it. I will always remember Hulk Hogan as Thunderlips, the Ultimate Male, in Rocky III, and that is what would launch, Hulk Hogan to the stratosphere as it was. It's funny when you consider that McMahon did not want Hulk Hogan to do the movie because I think it was going to take like a week out of his schedule to film that scene, and he was going to get like 20 grand or something like that. Like it was even like a ridiculously paltry sum for what it turned out to be. But I tell you right now, if Hulk Hogan doesn't do Rocky III, I don't think he becomes the character that he does ultimately. So I would probably credit Sylvester Stallone more for his success than Vince McMahon.
Yes, I mean, I'll always know him first and foremost as the captain of the Thunder boat in his pivotal direct to basic cable television show.
Was it Thunder in Paradise?
Thunder in Paradise, where he was a mercenary piloting an impossible speedboat that always seemed to solve the crime.
It was like Knight Rider on the water.
Yes, there's always a canal or a fjord.
Well, it's because it was filmed at not Universal, at MGM Studios in Disney World.
Yeah,
and I swear they did some sequences on the Jungle Cruise.
they probably did
in there somewhere.
I double down on all everything you'd said before. Like, obviously, he is synonymous with the globalization and popularizing of professional wrestling in the 80s. I think as like a true smart mark of the business, I don't give him as much credit as maybe he deserves, because I firmly stand in the camp that his gimmick was stolen, his moveset was awful, and without Vince McMahon's millions and millions of dollars and ruthless business practices, he would not be the cultural icon that he became. But I understand he did it. You can't take that away from him. So it is what it is. As a character, he's problematic.
Yeah, I will tell you, you're right about mind you, he stole Superstar Billy Graham's, look. Everything for Superstar Billy Graham. Add to that, the bandana. The Macho Man was doing the bandana thing first.
Yes.
To keep because Macho was going a little thin up top. So a really cool way of, hiding all that. And Hulkster's like, oh, I can do that. And, takes that bit out. Everything. But hey, that's the bit of that's the thing about the professional wrestling, is that sometimes we glom on the characters that they're lying to our faces all the time and we swallow it.
It's part of the business, right?
What does that feel like about? I swear it's like something else that's going on right now, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm sorry. Go on.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's like, especially with Hulk Hogan, past the huge 80s push, he also returned in the 90s as part of the NWO faction, the 84 weeks of WCW being on top. A lot of people give him a lot of credit as being like that, lightning in a bottle that was necessary once he partnered with Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to form this, anti-establishment supergroup that eventually went off the rails. But I looked at it more as like three guys who figured out really quickly how to get over without doing a lot of work.
Yeah, but I mean, on the one hand, I'll give him credit for that. I mean, heck, when you're that long in the tooth, late in your career, if you can do that,
it was a good reinvention for sure,
and get paid by all means. Although depending on whose account you're listening to, is like, I mean, Hulk Hogan kind of had to be dragged into into the quote unquote outsiders that would turn into the NWO. It's like he wasn't sure until finally, I guess at the 11th hour, he decided to go through with it, and then boom, from there. So, but it's like Hogan always was the opportunist, even though sometimes opportunity was screaming at him, "Come on, here's the deal. Here's the call. Let's do it." Brother, I'm not sure about that, brother.
Well, it's that that's the thing about Hulk Hogan.
I was going to say, because originally, from what I heard, and again, it's apocrypha depending who you talk to, Sting was supposed to be the third member of the Outsiders, and that was supposed to be the NWO, and then it ended up flipping. Yeah,
it honestly, it's better that it didn't happen that way, because Sting became like this ultimate. Like, again, we know he did the Crow gimmick; it worked really well, but like. I think aside, and I'm sure, in phase 3 of this discussion, we can talk about Terry Bollea, the man, and some of the recent issues he suffered. But like, I can't leave the middle part of this without denoting as a character or as a backstage politician. My biggest irk with that guy is that everything around his character craps on the business around it. Like, what was he most famous for? Hulking up. What is hulking up to the professional wrestling connoisseur? It is, I'm not going to make my opponent look good. I'm going to stand up, and because of reasons, I am now impervious to pain. While you lay all your big punches and kicks on me, I will just get madder and madder, and then I will be the progenitor of the 5 moves of doom. I will give him credit.
Was it really 5 moves? I thought it was
him. It was like 2, but
okay,
John Cena clearly took the ball and ran. I give Hulk Hogan credit for at least admitting on many interviews that the leg drop was the dumbest idea for a finisher for a guy whose whole gimmick was 24-inch pythons. But apparently he didn't steal enough from the Japanese to figure out how to do a finisher that would make sense, because he's like, I always thought my finisher should be a sleeper. To which I think, what better way to make the crowd go crazy than slowly putting your opponent to sleep?
Well, that's how they've done it in the past, but still.
Yeah.
No, I you're right, and I know the whole that and beyond that. I mean, again, I can't. You look at the number of people who've talked about Hulk Hogan afterwards. I think there's 3 people in the industry who will sing his praises. That's Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Jimmy Hart, and Eric Bischoff. That's it.
Brian Knobbs.
Oh, that's right, because they have so that's you can kind of one hand the number of folks who talk about how great Hulk Hogan was, but you look at any of those folks. Brutus Beefcake, I think they're friends because they freaking party together, right? Beyond that, everybody else. I mean, Hogan never put them over. If they were whatever, if they succeeded in anything, it's because they were with him and he paid for dinners. I don't know. Everyone else after that, everyone. Even talking about King Kong Bundy in the very beginning. I remember that Saturday night's main event when Hulk Hogan got jumped by King Kong Bundy and got splashed and the whole thing. And it was supposed to be setting up the whole It was supposed to set up a whole WrestleMania main event where Hogan was supposed to put Bundy over, and he didn't.
No,
and it's like, all right, yeah. And then that's why That's why we talk about the immortal Hogan, that long winning streak of his, how long he held the belt for so long. because he wouldn't drop it. He wouldn't. He was like, no, I'm not doing that.
He politicked his way out of letting other wrestlers join the spotlight because he maintained this aura of I am the top and no one else below me. It's why fans like us will curmudgeonly shake our fist and say, love Macho Man, love Mr. Perfect, love all of these, like Bret Hitman Hart. Look how long it took Bret to get over. He had to wait until Hulk Hogan was on the way out for him to get over, while the fans were desperately crying for something new. And it's just in his mindset, like, this is how you do it, brother. You know, you politic your way to the top and you stay at the top. And so long as I'm drawing the most money, how can you argue with me? Not understanding that, like, yeah, but the Attitude Era proved if you have like 6 to 8 good top tier talent, you can just keep shuffling the deck and keep it going for a lot longer.
Yeah, but it took a while to get there, though, and it was a necessity was the mother of invention, because Vince McMahon was using the old formula, stayed with the cartoon character, you know, and all that, and it wouldn't be until they're like, okay, we got to just start throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks, and then that would give you the Attitude Era. I mean, let's face it, unless a couple breaks go here and there, Stone Cold Steve Austin stays the ringmaster.
Yeah.
You know, so again, for all the hail, the praise and hailing of the genius of Vince McMahon, there's a lot of stuff that he almost could have let by just for his own sheer ego, that he could figure out a winning formula for things.
Very true. It is strange to me, though, given the amount of shared clear drug use, that Vince McMahon still draws breath and we lose Hulk Hogan. But
but it was a complication from a surgery. I mean, it's, you know, at his age, he had a surgery. They say those things, what happens, what was it, a blood clot? He had got a clot after the surgery, and that, you know, that's unfortunate that it is. I mean, it's not, you know, we can't say it was like, you know, he was OD'd or anything like that. So no, it is very tragic.
71 is still too young by any definition. I mean, look, I will painfully admit, I watched a lot of Hogan Knows Best.
I never did. I didn't watch that.
It was as mindless and predetermined as normal wrestling, but, you know, about Hogan and his fake family. I mean, yes, they're his legitimate son, daughter, and wife, but all the episodes were, you know, concocted schlock. But, you know, he made it work as this weird, like, it was that phase. You had Hogan Knows Best and the Ozzy Osbourne, whatever his show was called at the time. It's like weirdly famous, doddering old men kind of trying to live their glory days back. And, oh yeah, I have a family.
And Stallone's doing that now too. He's got his own show like that. Yeah.
Really?
On Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't give them my money.
I don't blame you. And I will always say, I will defend Brooke Hogan till the day I die. One of the kindest, sweetest people I'd ever met. Didn't have to give me the time of day, and was sweet as could be. So I will always, you know, don't say shit about Brooke.
Never. I mean, that's it. Of all the people on that show, she seemed the least garbage.
Yeah, and also, and then she did have to suffer from some crap from her dad. So
plenty. Which actually, you know, without, I don't feel the need to mire in the muck. The man's dead, but suffice it to say, it was over his daughter and his opinion of her life that kind of revealed the start of the real life heel turn of the guy, which sucked. You know.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because I mean, I will say, and I think it's a part and parcel with that life, being in that life where the reality is what you make of it, and your history, or what it is the story you tell about yourself. Because I will hear, and it's not just Hulk Hogan. I will listen to interviews with other wrestlers, again, the Roddy Pipers or Greg Valentines, Jake the Snake. And you can see they have a sort of revisionist history of things in their own heads when they talk about this is what happened here, and this is and we did this and that. I'm like, I remember that happening very differently, or I remember that match very differently than you. And you can even go back and like freaking watch it and you go, okay, no, that didn't happen. Like Jake the Snake blaming Honky Tonk Man for his drug problems because Honky Tonk hit him with a real guitar as opposed to a gimmicked one, and the concussion that came from it caused him to get into drugs. Seriously, dude, really?
Yeah, that's as good a stretch as Hulk Hogan saying he had a full head of hair.
Ha! Right. So then you hear Hulk Hogan out there talking about, oh yeah, it was my idea to do this, and I was going to do that, and I invented this, and then people are like, no, man, we were there, man. It didn't happen like that. But I think
look,
I'm saying
he kept adding 100 pounds to Andre the Giant every time he told the story.
Well, right, and that's the whole thing about that life, where it is a fiction. You're living in a fiction. Add to that, you've got people around you who are feeding into that fiction, and they want that fiction. You're no longer Phil Brooks. You're not Terry Bollea. You're not Randy Poffo. You are the character, and that's how I want to remember you. That's how I want to know you. That's the only way I will accept you. So, which is why this whole thing now, we're being delicate about it, but as problematic as Hulk Hogan was in his personal life and things that have come out, and especially now in the social media age where you can't say stuff and not have somebody record it somewhere. Add to that that whole thing, the sex tape bit, that ended up getting Gawker shut down. Which is why, I mean, dude, it happened. It's out there. Like, suck it up and move on. No, well, you get Peter Thiel to back you up and shut down a gossip site or whatever. But people don't want to hear that other stuff. They only want to know you as a character, and that's what they feed into. So if you say, well, Terry Bollea was, a racist, shut up, man. He was a Hulkster. Wrestling wouldn't be what it was without the Hulkster, man. You just disagree with his politics, man. Fine, okay. Hey, you can say that. You didn't try dating his daughter,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I can also point out that Hulk Hogan, the character, was equally racist. Because I can't think of a single black superstar that he put over fully, ever.
I think Zeus is as close as it gets. But
right, and he didn't write that movie, so
right.
He was problematic between his personal politics late in life, the racism, the sex tape, and then most recently. And I would say, like, look, this part is a little sad to think that the last time he will have been in front of the WWE universe is to promote his crappy beer and get booed out of the building. Given everything, I think maybe that's probably the best send-off he could have got. The man got his Hall of Fame ring. You can't take it off his hand.
And here's the thing, years from now, people are going to forget all about that. It's like they say, it was the man who shot Liberty Valance. When it comes to the truth and the legend, you print the legend. That's what it is.
He will be forever synonymous with the first rise of the WWF.
Yeah.
Can't take it away from him.
Nope.
And he created memories abound. And you can't have pro wrestling without the Hulk, the Hulkster.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be a bit of revisionist history going on, even in WWE, where they're really leaning into Dusty. And like, oh yeah, the Vince at one point would have made Dusty his champion instead of Hulk Hogan.
No,
I'm like, what?
No.
What? Wait, is
No.
this the same? Is this the same Dusty Rhodes that Vince McMahon had come out in a freaking black and yellow polka dot singlet,
Yeah.
and made him do a funky dance and come out with I forget the name of his valet.
Yes.
But still, I mean,
All that. And then he took it out on his kids too.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Dustin Rhodes comes out and he has got the look that Vince wanted with the pedigree of the Rhodes family name, and he gets to be put in latex, spandex, tight, weird stuff, and he's made a very immediately controversial character. And then poor Cody, the crown prince of wrestling, comes in and they make him have a mustache. They make him do Phantom of the Opera. Then he gets to be Stardust, which makes him miserable. Yeah, convince me that Vince McMahon had anything but scorn for the Rhodes family.
Yeah. It's like when Rupert Murdoch wanted the Wall Street Journal so he could get, have a reputable paper under his belt, and what's the first thing he does? Turns it into a tabloid.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vince McMahon. Oh, I got this guy. He's got a great pedigree. Yeah, we're gonna make him. We're not even going to acknowledge that he's a Rhodes. We're gonna call him Gold Dust. Mind you, I did think the Gold Dust character was kind of cool. I did enjoy the Gold Dust character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, look, Dustin made it work.
Oh, he did.
That is one of those things where, without the hard work, and Cody too, both of those guys have proved that under any gimmick you can get over if you work it hard enough.
Only so far. Although Cody did get an outfit that looked like a can of Rockstar energy drink. I did. Yes. I remember doing that once. I did a picture of a grid of Cody in his black and gold outfit, Stardust outfit, and a Rockstar energy drink, and I swear, same thing.
You got it. Like the gear maker must have been drinking it.
They're like, oh, we can do this. Yeah, that'll
complete
work.
Non sequitur to get us off of Hogan, but keep it in pro wrestling before we move on to the final story. At AEW All In, the tag team, the Outrunners, the celebration of 80s wrestling writ large as a tag team, their gear was a pack of cool menthol cigarettes. So, like, they took the design of the cool package from the 1980s, the green stripes and the gold bars, and they turned those into wrestling gear.
That I could see working, though.
The funniest thing ever is, like, as the match progresses, Taz is calling it, and he goes, "Where have I seen that gear before? Where have I seen that gear before?" And they keep going, and then, like, 10 minutes in, he goes, "Oh my God, that's a pack of Cools. They're wearing a pack of Cools."
I will say, from one designer to another, that is right there sign of a great design. I mean, it's a classic. It's simple. The font, everything, and then the fact that we go, "Oh my goodness, I know what that is."
I'm not sure if how this will travel, but I'm going to send it to you via Messenger just so you can get a peek at it. But it's brilliant. Like, it holds up, and applied to the characters, it was just like, this is when wrestling's really popping. These guys could go to the ring dressed like that. They lost the match, but they won the war.
Yeah, drop this in the private chat. Let me see if I can put it up on screen.
Let's see. Does it let me put in pictures? Media? No. It doesn't appear that I'm able to do that, but all right, we'll make sure somebody can go see it.
Yeah, we'll put it on the Facebook page under this episode. So
yes.
If you go to the Facebook page under this particular episode, I'll drop it in the comments.
Yes.
All right. No, that's funny. Although, now I would have simplified it just a little bit.
It's not perfect, but given that, like, it is what it is, and what it is pretty darn funny.
It is funny, but yeah, no.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. It's Newports. They're Newports.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Cools didn't have the stripes.
Yeah, the
Cools
straight.
had it had this color scheme, but it was much simpler than this. I mean, it was
So,
like
thank you, Reddit. Somebody put a picture of them on a Newport ad.
okay.
Perfect.
Drop that in, and I'll make sure we put that on the Facebook page.
You got it. I'll send it to you.
All right. So anyway, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Although I'm pretty sure Randy Savage is waiting for you. He's got a score to settle.
Yes, the line is long in heaven.
It is pretty long. All right, before we go, we got a few minutes. Can't leave without talking about. We haven't seen the movie yet, so we're not going to give a review. But Fantastic Four: First Steps is out this weekend. In fact, it is in theaters now, and I'm going to hopefully see it this weekend, provided like the apocalypse doesn't happen, something like that. These days, I don't know. I can't tell. Some crazy stuff's going on right now, and who knows? But if I do make it, we'll have a review next weekend. But I know I have some pretty lofty expectations for this film, especially considering the Fantastic Four, one of my favorite superhero groups as a kid, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, my favorite superhero as a kid. I have many core memories associated with them. I'm sure I've told the story before about my dad getting me the Johnny Storm Human Torch Mego action figure when I was a kid, and they released a new set of Disney did it on their site on the Disney store. It was a brand new set of Mego dolls of the Fantastic Four, sold out like that. We're talking like same day they were gone.
Were they classics or were they like in the image of the actors?
No, they were classics. They look like
nice.
the old original ones. I think they updated the thing. I think they did a different sculpt on the thing, something with him, or like they made him look better this time as opposed to the sculpt then.
Yeah.
But he still had like the cloth, body and all that stuff. So, needless to say, I'm very anxious for this film. I have been looking forward to this particular movie for quite some time, and my concern is I'm expecting too much from it. But I also expected a lot from Superman, and Superman did clear the hurdle pretty well.
Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing right now, all the some of the folks that I know, local, like Victor Aragon from Fan Dads, my friend Don Shanahan from Every Movie Has a Lesson. They've liked it, or at least there were some little things that they talked about that they could have been better or issues here or there, but overall the casting is great. The chemistry between the characters is awesome. Galactus is cool AF. And overall, the movie is pretty good, although it feels like it's setting up the next thing.
Now, let's point out here, for Galactus specifically, low bar to clear, given the last iteration of the character was a space fart cloud.
Well, it's because people didn't know if they could take the idea of a giant guy in a purple outfit with a funny looking helmet with what looked like freaking
tuning
forks on his head. You could take that seriously, but now we've reached the point in comics. Like, remember how when the X-Men first came out, they couldn't do the colorful costumes because it just wouldn't translate on a movie screen. So they gave them like the biker type leather outfits, and then they went in and they kind of did that with every superhero, like muted the colors and made the uniforms look like something other than, let's say, a costume. Like it was like maybe a armor or some sort of wetsuit or whatever. It wouldn't be until much later, and heck, it wouldn't be until freaking Superman when you would go, oh hey, we can do bright colors, we can do costumes that look like they're from the comics.
Well, it turns out you could have done it earlier, and like that's probably an entire discussion for another show. I would point out Deadpool proved it.
Yes,
that you can absolutely just lean into the canon, and no one's gonna care.
Well, I could have also pointed to several superhero porn parodies where the costumes are dead on.
We're talking... maybe don't point those out.
Well, I interviewed Axel Braun. He was the director. That was one thing I asked him. I go, dude, how do you get those costumes to be so accurate? He goes, yeah, because I care. I go, and how do those costumes withstand all that rigor?
Because we care. Because we care. You know, I'm very curious. I'm extremely excited for this. I think we all kind of know Marvel needs to hit this one out of the park because Thunderbolts crashed and burned. In spite of it being a great movie, financially it was the drizzling poopies, if you will.
And which is kind of disappointing because what were you hearing from Marvel fans or the comic book hero fans? They need to do something different. They keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. They need to come up with a new formula. Why do they have to keep doing this? And then when they go and do something different, like Eternals, right? Which was completely different from the Marvel formula.
Yes.
It's rejected. Now, mind you, I didn't care for Eternals myself, but I got what they were trying to do. And there are a lot of folks out there who loved Eternals. And hey, I'm not going to yuck their yum.
Right. With all 12 of them can enjoy it.
With Thunderbolts, I enjoyed it. I thought it was low stakes, again, B characters. You can't expect it to. I mean, I don't know what people were expecting it to do, but it seems like
it's hard to say. But I think especially with that one, Thunderbolts is only going to perk the ears up of a comic book fan.
Yeah.
Capital C, capital B, comic book fan. And Marvel thought maybe we can get by on our good looks. And, John and Jane, average moviegoer who's still tired over Endgame, going, man, I don't think I don't want to learn anybody else's name. Fantastic Four, at very least, has previous iterations to draw on from the zeitgeist to go, oh, wait, I've heard of these characters. Like, even if you're not into comics, you have heard The Thing, The Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Doom. Like, those names have resonance. So hopefully they get the audience. For me personally, the two, so the way I wrote it for us to ask is, what do you need from this film for it to satisfy? For me personally, I need to be sold on Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and I need to be sold on The Thing. Specifically, I love Pedro Pascal. I think he's an amazing actor. When they announced him as Mr. Fantastic, I saw it as a move because he's so well known and he's like at the peak of his popularity. It's not a role that I would have naturally put him in. I mean, dare say John Krasinski, before he got blipped, did an interesting, almost believable job, but he only had like 3 lines to deliver. The look was right, if nothing else. But here I want to be sold on it. I actually at first I was like, oh, he's going to shave the mustache, I guess, and go classic. But I like that he kept it. I'm like, no, it makes sense for a character in the 60s to have sported a mustache. The Thing, I love the actor.
Evan.
His name escapes me, but he's in The Bear. And
I'm a big fan of his. Yeah, no, he is really good.
Yes.
He was in The Mandalorian as well. No, not in Mandalorian. He was in Andor.
Eben something Moss. But anyway, the depiction I've seen of Thor in the previews and whatnot, not bad at all. But the one thing it was missing, and I hope it shows up in the audio mix in the theater, I need a little gravel in that voice. I need some bass out of The Thing. We don't need to do what Chickless did, but the cartoon, to me,
I don't think you're gonna get it.
I don't think I'm going to either, but
you're gonna get it. It's like it's like everyone thought that Abraham Lincoln had a deep baritone in his voice, and he didn't really. He had a very high pitched whine, when he talked. So I think that's what you're going to get.
A couple years ago,
pretty much.
I mean, look, I'm looking forward to it no matter what. I'm excited for what it's going to be. I'm very curious how they stick the landing. Without getting into anything, because we don't know anything. If you saw Thunderbolts, the mids, the end credit tease,
the ship is there, yeah.
But Reddit fans are Reddit fans, pal, and I don't know if you've seen this. People are already dissecting that, going, "That's not the rocket that we've seen in the Fantastic Four first steps. Could it be a different Fantastic Four?" And we know that from what we know from the trailers, this movie has a lot to do with realities and
multiverse.
So it's all up in the air. Like I said, I just want to be sold on Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic. I'd love some grit to that Thing voice, and I need them to stick the landing to be exciting for this next push to the you're really going to have to sell me on Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom.
Okay, so let's say you're pleased with Pedro Pascal. Let's say you're good with the Thing. Let's say the characters ring true for you, but the movie bombs at the box office.
Almost an impossibility at this point, but
but I'm just saying. I mean, because
if it happens.
That is a big criticism. That's a big criticism that Superman's getting right now. That it's only made $400 million so far. I'm saying.
Sorry.
But that's the expectation that is made for these movies. And Marvel movies now, if they don't make at least $500 million, they're failures.
Which to me, I'm like, all I could point to and say, show me another $500 million movie. Show me another $400 million movie for that matter in the last 5 years.
But again, it's what happened. It's what happens when Endgame, when your first Avengers movie makes $1 billion, right?
Right.
And then what? Age of Ultron didn't make $1 billion. It made like 900 million, something like that. Didn't quite make $1 billion, but it got up there. But not as good because it didn't make as much money. And then you get to Infinity War, boom. And then Endgame, was it $2 billion that one makes? And
whatever it was.
Right. And then you now this movie to make. Oh wait, that's right, Spider-Man, No Way Home, $1 billion. And then you go, oh well, okay, that's it. They're not gonna hit anymore. Oh, Deadpool, $1 billion. Oh no, I'm sorry. Captain Marvel also made $1 billion. Black Panther made $1 billion. So you've got these expectations now that if you don't make that much money, you're just not as good.
Obviously, it's the big business guys with the checks want to make the most money off of this, and it's hard to tell. That's a good point. If it does happen, I don't know if that changes anything for Marvel's plans, but I feel like they have built their own Triskelion. It is not, those things cannot turn on a dime. So,
yes. And I don't even think it's like the business guys are where it's fandom. It's fandom that's putting the pressure and talking about it, because I'm still getting that on the threads about Superman.
And you see, I share in your ire of the fandom with that crap, because anybody who comes out of that Superman movie whose last name doesn't rhyme with writer, who has a problem with that movie, is blind and deaf. It was everything it needed to be, and then some. The social media around it has been nothing but positive in terms of the celebration of the character, of the actors, of the job they're doing, of what James Gunn is trying to build. And look, I'm not here. I'm a fair weather fan. I want Marvel and DC both to continue to churn out this stuff, because this is my childhood writ large, on the big screen in colorful costumes and making realities out of stuff that was only on a page. Love all of it. And same too for your Sin Cities and your Hellboys and American Splendors and all the rest. Yeah, I'm just hopeful that Fantastic Four and Superman both do really well, and that they set up goodness to come, so that it's fun. My children are starting to read comics regularly this summer. They're regularly just going through that bookshelf behind me and just grabbing, and it's great because they start asking like, "This Flash book was great. What else is there?" Can't show them the movie, but
The movie
soon.
was pretty bad. When are we getting a Summer movie?
What year is it? 2025. 2071.
But I won't. I don't know if I'm going to be alive to do a cameo.
Oh well, you'll be alive. I mean, you're playing Master Al in the future. That's
That's right. We got to do a hologram of me. Well, bring me back like Tupac.
yes. Well, it's one step at a time. Right now, we're still ironing out video game, and from there we get to animated series. From animated series to movie.
And I'm looking forward to all that. All right.
Welcome to enter the Sammerverse.
Wow. There we go. And folks, there we go. It's another edition of the Torn Quadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. As always, leave us a comment on the YouTube page or on the Facebook page and let us know what you thought. When we return next week, we'll hopefully have seen Fantastic Four. And we'll also be talking about SummerSlam, which is coming up next weekend. And we didn't even talk about the fantasy booking. John Cena versus The Rock at some point. I'd say I want John Cena versus Stone Cold. It's that match that never happened. But I know Stone Cold won't do it. So
No, there's no way he's coming out of retirement to lose.
Or period. I mean, he even says himself he's not in. He doesn't.
Yeah,
he's
his
not in
next
shape
is
anyway.
stack of dimes.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, if we're gonna go that way, I say John Cena's last match needs to be against his mortal enemy, Idris Elba.
I'd buy that for $1.
Same.
All right, folks. But hey, the Torn Quadcast came to you free here on the WRMN radio YouTube page. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe. Say your prayers. Eat your vitamins, and don't be a racist. And be kind. That's all I can ask for. All right.
Same.
Good night, everybody.